Welcome, music fam, to this week's Music Talk podcast. I am Victor, your music mentor. Look, before we move on, make sure you get a chance to subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, or you can follow us on Instagram. Or you can go right to our website, www.sanctifiedsound.org. Hey, at the end of this, make sure that you stick around because we're going to give you some information that is going to change your life forever. All right, so come on back and we'll dive right in with our first guest. So,
man.
Let's dive right in, man.
What's up?
Welcome, music fam. It's your boy, Vic, the music mentor. I am here with one of my good friends, Jay Dunn.
Yes, sir.
Jay Dunn, the man with the master plan.
That's
he
it.
is a really good friend of mine. And,
yes.
Man, I've been knowing Jay for a long time. And so he's the CEO of Rapture Productions. But I'm not going to,
You want me to introduce? I'm going to introduce.
Yeah, go ahead and do
it. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, born and raised, CEO of Rapture Productions, artist, visionary, author. I don't know, everything.
Author.
I think I just gave a snippet out of that.
Oh my gosh.
I gave a snippet out that I wasn't supposed to give. Yeah, I guess it's exclusive.
Okay, look.
We're working on my first book. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, producer, everything, man. Just happy to be here, excited.
Yeah. Man, okay, so you run this label for how long?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. We just made 4 years.
So tell me, like, what made you really get into, starting a label? I know you were an artist first.
Of course.
But, like, how did that transition into you being, just having a label?
Okay. So going back to like 2016, 2015 era, the Lord put on my heart to begin to do music and do it with a spirit of excellence. And so I've been doing Christian rap since 2004, 2003. But I was kind of being built in behind the scenes and poured into in my church. A lot of people don't want to sit still and let the Lord,
True. You gotta marinate.
You gotta marinate first because you don't want to just jump out there. My pastor wanted to make sure I had accountability in my life before I would go out into the world and really begin to proclaim it on a big level. So around 2014, 2015, the Lord released me, and so I began to do the music, and I went through the process of incorporating the level, and God gave me this grand vision. It was talking about, how we're going to be a household name and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, it's just me, but all right, cool, Lord. But I wrote the vision out, made it plain, like Abaka says in the Word of God. So, wrote the vision, got it incorporated, and then I met. It's so funny. As soon as I wrote the vision, God began to work it. I walk it out.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. I tell you all the time, just write the vision and watch God just begin to give you everything or show you everything from it.
What's crazy about that is it's the same way when you get in your car. You have a destination where you want to go to. So what's the first thing that you do? You put it in your GPS.
That's it.
Once it's in your GPS, you start to move.
That's it.
A lot of people don't have a destination, so
Man,
they don't even know.
Look,
So they don't even know, what I'm saying, where they want to go. So how do you know what path to take and everything? So, and that's, it's a deep concept.
It's a very deep concept, man. Vision. So he wrote the vision, made it plain, and then I met Jay Knight, my tag team partner, my brother, who was the first person to believe in the vision and sign to the label. So Jay Knight joined, and then 4 years later, we got about got the label, the radio, the blog, the Rapture North. Now we got a second location. I could have never.
So explain that. Like, how did that come about?
Okay, so the Rapture North.
Rapture North.
Okay, so my brother, shout out to my brother BRM, all the way in Chicago, via a platform similar to this one.
Yes.
We was watching we were on a review show. And this guy, shout out to a regular rap street, he was really, really instrumental in this because he was just reviewing our music, and me and BRM met through that platform and just was showing love. Once again, not trying to really sign this or do that. I was just like, man, your song is dope. He's like, yeah, your song was dope too. And just being cordial and connecting over a time period. Because a lot of people think we just sign people and it just happens. It's like, it was over a year, 2 year of friendship that brewed. And then...
But you said y'all met at like a review show?
Like a show. Like,
what were they reviewing?
They were reviewing our music. So it was like a live, Facebook Live radio show called Irregular Raps. And... they were just playing our music, and then the guy would critique it. And BRM was tuned in with his song, and I was tuned in for my song. And we just were like back and forth, like, yo, man, your music's really good. And, keep doing it for the Lord. And you're like, yeah, you too.
Yeah. How did you find that particular platform as far as a review? Stuff like that, I believe that a lot of artists should take advantage of.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes. Because you got to continue to get better. But how did you specifically find something like that to be able to...
Man, you gotta join these little Facebook groups. So Christian hip hop goes hard, or it was other people sharing it. This is the thing about Christian rap, or Christian music in general. We have to be a community,
right?
So other people were sharing it, other people were talking about it, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. I'll go. This another person I admired was doing it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And because of that, similar story to Jay Knight. Yeah. Me and Jay Knight would have never met if I wasn't listening to the radio station because of someone else. Like it was Los, Kid Los. Was on the radio station. I can't remember.
Shout out to Kid Los.
Shout out to Kid Los. Yeah, KHAD 96.5. They were on the radio, and Jason and Renita had a show on the radio back in the day, and they were doing Freestyle Fridays. He was on there, so I was listening to Los, and I ended up hearing this sultry voice of Jay Knight. I'm like, man, who is this cat? He ended up talking about his mixtape, so I went and listened to his mixtape. Once again, showing support. And then me and him started, I ended up texting him saying, hey man, on Messenger, on Facebook, hey bro, this is really dope, good music. And he was like, oh, okay, thank you. Then he went to my page, saw I was an artist, and he was like, oh, you an artist too? Yeah, but I wasn't really pushing it. So that's just how all that stuff works. So go back to BRM. He signed to the label later on, and just we imparted to him. We got a chance to go out to Chicago, and the Lord just laid upon my heart that it was time for us to expand the vision further. We were already going to an exponential rate. We have about 12 artists on our label at right now, and so it's kind of crazy.
But it's not just artists though.
That's not just artists. We got radio personalities. We have staff. We got executive teams. It's kind of outrageous, man. It is.
I mean, like, how do you have the time to kind of run that type of thing?
Key. I don't. I depend on my team a lot. Now, I will say this. In the beginning, I did all the graphics, the videos.
Exactly.
Me and Jason were producing. Jason does all the mixing and mastering.
Right.
It's like, how in the heck are we going to continually grow this thing to a place to where it's actually sustaining itself?
Right.
God just began to send people, man.
Yeah.
So now we have a VP of branding and marketing that just does the graphics, that I don't have to do them as much. We now have someone who's handling the financials, so I don't have to try to calculate how we're going to make all this stuff happen.
Right.
We got Jason to do the mix and the match. We have an A&R department that's looking at submissions and looking at things like that. So it's a team effort.
Yeah.
I can't really take the credit. And of course, God gracing,
right.
God gracing us with the ability to do this, man. It is not something I would not recommend this to a lot of people. I always tell people, you have to be selfless.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You have to be selfless. There's not enough of that to where people really understand. People ask me all the time, man, it must be amazing to be a CEO. It must be amazing to be the leader. And I say, man, I am in the forefront, and I'm really pushing the doors open for everybody else. I'm like a Jesus-esque. I already know greater works they shall do. I'm already prepared to die for the team. I'm already prepared to sacrifice. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
It's a sacrifice. So leadership
not only
is
it a sacrifice, but there's a thing called long suffering.
There
you have to have a lot of patience.
Ooh.
You have a lot of patience with people, a lot of patience with companies, a lot of patience with with artists.
Yeah.
Just a lot of patience. Period. I know. So speak to that. Like, what are some of the things that you're that's more of an obstacle that you're going through with this particular label?
Man, okay. I mean, when we getting real now.
Okay,
let me tell you. You want to hear it. You want to hear it. Man, you said it. Mm-hmm. It's patience.
Yeah.
One thing you're dealing with people. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as the perfect person, right? Yeah. Including myself. So it's like dealing with that many different emotions. Mm-hmm. You know, one thing was at one time we had nothing but men on the label. So it's like, all right, for a video shoot, put your shirt on, take your shirt off. All right, we done. With women, it's makeup, it's styling. It's, right. Oh no, my hair fell right here, so I got. Oh, it's
emotions.
My stomach is showing. And it's like, oh gosh. So we had to go through that. And then the financial side it could be such a strain because you're trying to build. It's a lot of people don't realize it takes a lot in the beginning to really get the momentum. Like over the years, you've been privy to that being just a part of my kind of like a family. Yeah. I've shown you kind of the numbers or seen what things, but that's not privy to everybody else. But it's like you'll see all this money that's going out the door, and you see it as a seed.
It's a small business.
It is.
So you're going to see a lot of fall off in the beginning before you started to. It's literally called the cliff, where you have to dig out of the hole. Yeah, that's the business part. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So a lot of companies aren't able to do that. Is that something that y'all facing right now? Or
man, I think we're starting to climb out. Okay, now. Thankfully, we are starting to climb out. And I did it with a smile on my face. Mm-hmm. Which is not easy. Yeah. That is the long suffering. Right. And so I did it with a smile on my face because I saw the fruits of it. It's like when you put seed in the ground. You're not going to get a return immediately. Absolutely. You have to work. You have to toil. But I'm going to tell you something that people don't tell us, bro. Okay? The harvest is plenty, but the labor's are few. You listen to that scripture and you think about, well, who wouldn't want to go harvest? Harvest is the hardest part.
Yeah, it is.
Because you got to go get it and pig it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And that was a revelation that me and Jason got. We were told we were going to get a harvest. And then when the harvest started coming in, we were like, this is a lot of work. Yeah. To make it work.
You know what's funny though is like when people talk about harvest, like they want to look at it and they want to reap the benefits of it, but they don't want to go get the harvest. Like it's not something that you sit back and you just
and it just happens. Yeah.
Like yes, it grows, but think about like plants and you think about corn when it comes up. Go to a farm. Think about all the stuff that you have to do. If you don't go get it,
you gotta go get it, man.
But there's a specific limit of time. Yeah, that is going to be because it can spoil.
Yes, it.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like go after the harvest when it's available,
that's good.
Then you're gonna lose all that stuff just because you're waiting for the benefits to happen. Yeah, and it won't happen. And now you got to go a whole throughout the season and get to the same place. Man, the Israelites had to go around the mountain about 40
years. No, sir. I don't want this. Yeah. I don't want
it. So I know how this particular time, like we're dealing with the whole COVID-19 issue. Like, what are some of the things that, like, how has it hit you guys?
Okay. So it's twofold. So I'll say how it's hit us negatively, and then I'll tell you about how it hit us positively. Negatively, it's of course affected the way we go out and minister. Right. So of course, churches have canceled most of their concerts, their outreaches. Then people are just fearful too of even touching one another. I'm touching. That's one side of it. Also, another negative thing is just, of course, it's kind of appended how we work outside. So, you're shooting music videos, you're working on photo shoots. It's a little bit harder to go places because you can't gather. We're also used to gathering and doing Bible studies. You know about that. So we can't physically congregate together, which, of course, as the church, it affects us because there's power in numbers. So that's mainly the areas. We haven't had anybody sick, thankfully. We haven't had anybody that was dealing with it on that parameter. Financially, it seems that everybody's okay. But that also is another thing too, because financially you're paying money into systems to keep the label going, but no money is coming in because of the certain things. So you got to always have a nest egg prepared for stuff like that. So that's the negative side. Now, positively, what I've seen is an adaptation and evolution of our team online, their online presence, us using streaming services like Skype or Zoom more, and learning how to, if this is the new norm, learning, see, that's the key.
I was literally about to ask you about that.
If this is the new norm, how can we be effective as ministers?
Right.
How can we be effective as a label? How can we be effective as artists and creators in this new medium?
Right.
And so a lot of media's been happening behind the scenes with the radio team, the blog team, the label as itself, the executive team, whatever, on how we can continue to create and bring in finances, but also how can we give back to the community virtually in some capacity. So a lot of that's been, okay, well, let's do a DJ night. We'll have J Night, do a mix show live online. So we've done it a couple of times. How can we do an online concert where everybody can come in, and if they want to sew, they can sew, but it'll be a free event for people to come. Right. The mediums like this to continue to reach out, tell our testimony, talk about our mission statement and our vision. And just partnering with as many people as we possibly can. Yeah. Where me and you are both about partnerships and building other brands as well as continuing this, move forward. So if you look at us, man, we're still dropping music almost every week. Mm-hmm. That's one area that Rapture really just can't stop. We got 20 people. Yeah. So it's constantly going. We got the second label that just dropped, and we're just continually building that out. So
one thing that I'm taking away from this is it's great. The Bible talks about how there's safety in the multitude of counsel.
Yeah.
And so I'm going in a different direction with that because I know what the Bible is saying. But even with this, there's safety in the multitude.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people with a lot of ideas.
That's it.
And if you're isolated at this time, you are literally almost like suffering because, you don't have that other person, you don't have that
community, that tribe
to push you because you're feeling down or certain things are not working out. Speak to the camaraderie that this is building within your team.
It's a special thing. It's a special feeling of warmth. I'm seeing a level of community that I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. Like we were just in the chat prior to this, us recording this, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm at Vic's house. We working on this and that, Sanctified Sound," and they were all like, "Oh, we wish we could be there." Mm-hmm. It's like this, and we're sending selfies back and forth. We're like, "Yay, hey, I miss y'all," and it's this desire to be one.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to explain it, is the desire to be on one accord. We have built this from the ground up, and each person, one thing I will say about Rapture that I don't see a lot of other places that I wish I did, is that sense of unity where it's not just my label.
Right. I
don't run Rapture like it's only mine. Mm-hmm. Every single person has a position and job to make this thing run. Right. And so it's making it valuable to everyone. So that sense of community, that sense of tribe, the way we're just communicating more, checking in with one another. The Bible says a more personal, every meeting is more smiling because we're seeing one another, because you're isolated otherwise. It literally is, once that camera shuts off, it's just you.
Back to reality.
Yeah, now we got people that live internationally and people who live in different states, countries, and everything. So it's like, for us, we have to stay communicating. And so it's really just about that family and that point when you connect, that just, oh man, I'm home.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get when I talk to them. Oh, that's like an exhale happens.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is like I'm tense.
Yeah.
But with them it's like, oh, finally I'm home. Mm-hmm.
So. Sometimes I think about like one of my internet mentors. He was just talking about how he made more money than he ever made in his life in the Depression. And that's the difference. I know we were talking off camera about that. There's two different types of people. You have producers and even consumers.
Yeah.
This time is going to really weed out who are the actual producers and who are the actual consumers.
Yeah.
Because you gotta have a whole lot of people that are that have that producer mentality inside of them to where they just can't stop. But then you have the other people. They have the producer mentality where they can't stop. And they have to quote unquote figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the time where entrepreneurs have to figure it out.
That's it.
Because, like you said, this is becoming the new normal. So for the recording artists that are looking and trying to figure out what to do in this particular time, as a CEO of a company, a record label, what would you tell a specific artist that is at that point that I don't know what to do right now, so I need some kind of advice? Give me something to, kind of start the process of me getting out of this or having some sort of purpose.
Man, I'm gonna give you a personal story. I have been, and this is just exclusive to this. I personally was attacked with no creativity during this time. Like, I literally just got into a slump. Now, before this, I had dropped a ton of music, and we had all this Rapture North news and all that stuff like that. But I literally got depressed, and I was like, Lord, I can't get to the microphone. I'm writing my stuff, and I'm like, throw that away, and I got lost.
Yeah.
So I went to my brother, which is really important to have that Jonathan and David type relationship with people. If you can find one person, and I told Jason, I said, man, I'm having a problem creating. He said, go back to your creator. Now, it sounds simple. He was like, if you're having an issue with creating, reconnect with your creator.
That's good.
Oh man, and then I said, man, he said the best thing you can do right now is don't be this person. Don't be, like he would say, don't be me. Don't try, because right now he just dropping. He's like, don't try to be me. Find you in this. Yeah. This is the perfect time to find your voice. So many artists are trying to be the next this, the next that. I know at one time I can say it. I wanted to be the next Lecrae, and there's nothing wrong with having goals.
Right. Yeah.
But find your voice in this. This is the time to get a track, to buy a track out, to get with people who produce, and find your sound in the midst of this. Because when you come out of this. If this is the new norm, streaming is up. Yeah. Everything, people are looking for your content. Right now is the best time. If you're an artist who are kind of like, what should I do? The best thing you can invest in right now is people who actually do music and produce music and can help you like an artist development to find out who you are. Labels are not signing people anymore who are just the raw talent.
Absolutely not.
Can we say it again?
Absolutely, yeah.
Can I say it again? We're not looking for raw talent. You gotta almost be ready made to sell. So get yourself prepared. We talk about, man, I want a slice of cake, but what does it take to create the cake? I don't want to buy the materials. Right. A label don't buy materials. We buy a finished cake. Right. And so we want the icing on it. We want the layers. We want it to be presented a certain way. Because if you're coming to us and you're saying, well, look, I'm a really good cake, but I can't do nothing with you. It's like, man, you might want to go back to the oven.
It's funny. It's like, you're saying you're a good cake, but ain't nobody buying you.
Yeah, ain't nobody buying you.
You have to be marketable enough to... a label want to invest in you, because that's the whole big thing. Yeah, is it's a business. All right, Jay, man, I got some rapid fire questions. Don't think like
I should have read this first.
So let's go right into it. Just right off the top of your head, just
chicken.
Whatever.
I'm key up this chicken.
Right. Okay. Right off the top of your head, just whatever comes to mind. So. Number one, what's an online source that you cannot live without?
YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, YouTube, man. Man, it's so much learning, so much information, so much content consumption, all in one tool. It's like the all-in-one tool. Yeah. I can live without Facebook. I can live without Instagram. I can live without TikTok. Oh God, I can live without TikTok.
Oh man, if I could burn TikTok,
I want to burn TikTok to the ground. It's nothing. It's just
but we said the same thing about Facebook.
We sure did. And watching a year, I'm gonna be like, follow me on TikTok, please. please follow me on TikTok.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah, YouTube will be my tool.
I know some people that can't live without Instagram. You know, and Instagram is becoming the new Facebook. That's what more of the younger people are on Instagram. More of your older folks is on Facebook. It was the same way with Facebook and MySpace. You know, back in the day, showing my age. But
or Black Planet.
Right. Black. Oh my gosh. That's cool. Okay, so secondly, if you had no constraints with money, time, or location, like what would your perfect day look like?
Eat chicken around the world, man. eat fried chicken. I'm playing, man.
Chick-fil-A everywhere.
They're really just everywhere, just laying and eat Chick-fil-A.
Right, just in Africa, in the jungle, just like.
You know, I could come up with a million things to do financially, but if I was really in a good financial state, I would probably be out serving somewhere, man, to be honest. Serving the community, serving the church.
Now, this is just one of them, like, them Christian answers or something.
No!
This is just you, right?
That's really me. Yeah. I'm really a servant, man. I like working, so I like to earn my rest.
Yeah.
So if I had money, I mean, I'm still gonna eat my steak, man.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm still gonna have the best.
No constraints with money.
Still gonna have like the best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
Right.
You know, everything I'm gonna have is gonna be the best. My private plane and all.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I would be using all of that. What's the point of life having all of that? You're not giving back to anything, so I wouldn't want to be giving back.
Yeah.
That would be my everyday thing if I was rich enough to live without having to worry about bills, and then I'd just be working for people, helping people.
Yeah. So what's the best advice that you've ever, received?
Put hot sauce on chicken. I am just playing.
I never really had that, to be honest with you.
Hot sauce on chicken and add like a pepper to that.
Oh, yeah. This is okay.
We're gonna go get some chicken after this. We gotta go get some chicken after this. The best advice. Stop being a people pleaser. You know, stop trying. You can't please everybody. You'll never be able to truly please everybody. So stop trying to please everybody. Stop being a people pleaser. That would probably be the best advice I've ever got. Plus the chicken thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, if you can go back, and speaking of advice, if you can go back in time to your younger self, let's say about 20 years ago, 20, 25 years ago, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh, man, that's probably the most off the top perfect answer for me. Man, take it all in.
Yeah.
Take it all in. Because I've had so many great memories as a child. But I remember one of the greatest memories is me trying to become an adult. Me trying to rush and become an adult. And I would tell myself, man, take it easy. Take it all in. You know, like get on your bicycle and run like the wind, bullseye. Like enjoy your Pixar movies, enjoy your candy lady down the street, enjoy your friends, your family, the cookouts, because a lot of that stuff don't happen anymore. You know, and so it's not the same time. You know, that was a different time dispensation, and so I would tell myself just take it all in and slow down. You're gonna have plenty of time to pay bills. Plenty of time for that.
Yo, where can people get in contact with you?
Man, everything you need is on RaptureReadyProductions.com. You can, if you want to add something to that /JDunn for all of my information personally. But everything you taught me this, Sanctified Sound taught me this. Everything you need to find about me can be found in one location, RaptureReadyProductions.com. You remember that? Rapture Ready Productions on Instagram, Rapture Ready Productions on Twitter, Rapture Ready Productions on every social media, even TikTok. Even TikTok. But yes, that's how you can find more information about me.
No, quick, shameless plug. Okay, now I know we talked about earlier about artists needing to know what to do specifically with this time. This is what Sanctified Sound is.
That's it.
We're more of a mentoring, accountability partner for recording artists. Yeah, we do music, we do we record albums and work with artists, but more on the developmental side of what a normal radio or a normal studio would do. We specifically work with artists, specifically right now, helping them to figure out what to do in these times, specifically with what we talked about, the new normal.
Yeah.
You're going to need someone to help you go through this particular time. And when it comes to performance, when it comes to how do you prepare yourself, knowing who you are, what kind of artist are you, what kind of tracks go specifically with what you're trying to do, the whole developmental side.
Yes.
It's legitimately what Sanctified Sound is. Shameless plug, but you can find out anything about specifically Sanctified Sound or at sanctifiedsound.org. That's where you can find out all the information of how you can get the help that you need. Don't just go through this stuff alone.
Don't do it.
Yes, you need help. You need time. And there's very little people, very little labels that's doing that for independent artists. So.
And I want to just give a testimony of this as well, is that Sanctified Sound has definitely helped Rapture Productions completely, even me, myself personally, to be a better artist, CEO, label head, and everything. So I can personally testify of the goodness of Sanctified Sound, and just the relationship that I've had with him is priceless. The information is priceless, but you have to invest in yourself. It's going to cost you something. And so get with people who actually care about not just your gift, but the anointing behind it, and that's Sanctified Sound. So
absolutely.
I just want to give that personal testimony.
Man, I appreciate you, man. This has been wonderful.
This has been fun, man. Chicken!
Right. Yeah. You don't go away with anything. Understand? Chicken. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Man, I am Victor, your music mentor, and this is Jay Dunn, CEO of Rapture Productions, and we'll see you next time.
Next time.
Do you remember the movie The Godfather? So, in the beginning scene, there was a man named Amerigo Bonacero, which means America Good Night. He went to seek a favor from the Godfather, and he asked the Godfather to take someone out because his daughter was raped. So apparently Amerigo went to the police first, but justice as he wanted was never carried out. So he went to the only other place that he thought that he could get the services that he wanted, the Mafia. The Godfather told Amerigo that the reason why he went to the police first was because he thought that the American system would take care of him, but Amerigo told him that the system failed him. So now he was forced to go to the underground system, the Mafia system. Now, the Godfather, he went on and carried out the wishes of Amerigo, but in turn, he had owned Amerigo because now they were trading favors. And any time that the Godfather asked something of him, Amerigo had no choice but to oblige, which paid dividends later in the movie. Now, see, this is a picture of the modern day Christian recording artist. And most Christian recording artists feel that the Christian system is failing them and that they must turn to a secular system to actually get things accomplished. And what they don't understand is that they were not actually looking to God to be their provider, but had taken their eyes away from God's provision and started looking to people with perceived greatness to be their source, trusting in a secular system that takes the image of being a Christian system when that is not what God had provided for his plan. Proverbs 14:12 says, "There is a way that seems right unto a man, but in the end leads to death." Maybe not physical death, but it could be spiritual death, like some Christian artists that sign with secular labels to get more exposure, but start to actually lose themselves. Or musical death, when you start to compromise your message because of the environment or the company that you keep. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good morals." So keep in mind that God gave you your gift, and he will provide your every need according to his riches, according to his glory, not yours. It's not up to you if you like the provision that God provides, but it will definitely work for your good. Hey, we look forward to seeing you real soon, so be sure to connect with us on social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page or simply visit our website just to see what new and exciting things are happening in a city near you. Everything is in the description box below, so go and check it out, okay? See you soon.